In the heart of Colombia's tumultuous history, one name stands out, forever intertwined with wealth, violence, and power. A name that would come to define an era: Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. A man who would rise from humble beginnings to control an empire that generated billions of dollars, all built upon the deadly trade of cocaine. This is the story of his life, a tale of ambition, brutality, and a reign that would leave Colombia scarred for generations. Medellín, Colombia, a city of contrasts. Once known for its beauty, it became infamous as the nerve center of the most powerful and violent drug cartel in history. In the late 20th century, Medellín was Pablo Escobar's empire. Born on December 1, 1949, Escobar grew up in the outskirts of this very city, in a poor family struggling to make ends meet. The seeds of his rise were planted in the harsh realities of his early years. Escobar's rise from poverty was driven by a relentless ambition. He was not content to simply live a life of mediocrity. By his late teens, he was already involved in petty crime, from stealing cars to selling contraband goods. But it was the lucrative cocaine trade that would catapult him to unimaginable power. By the 1970s, cocaine was becoming a major commodity in the United States, and Pablo Escobar was ready to exploit it. With the rise of the Medellín Cartel, Escobar controlled more than 80% of the cocaine smuggled into the U.S. His business empire grew at an exponential rate, and with it his thirst for control. Escobar's wealth was staggering. At the height of his power, it's said that he was making up to $70 million a day from his cocaine operations. His fortune was so vast that, according to reports, he would lose billions each year simply from the devaluation of his cash, with money rotting away in warehouses. Yet Escobar wasn't just a businessman. He understood the power of influence. He used his money to buy loyalty, both within Colombia and internationally. He lavished the poor with his wealth, building housing, soccer fields, and even hospitals. In return, they adored him, calling him El Patron. But his empire was not without its enemies. Escobar's rise to power came with a deadly price. Rival cartels, the Colombian government, and the United States all became targets in his ruthless quest to expand his reach. With violence as his weapon of choice, Escobar waged a war against anyone who opposed him. Car bombs, assassinations, and torture became part of his brutal tactics. The country was held hostage in the chaos of his drug war. In 1991, after a series of bloody confrontations, Escobar negotiated a surrender with the Colombian government. But this would be no ordinary prison sentence. He built his own luxury prison, La Catedral, where he was allowed to live in opulence, surrounded by his loyalists. Escobar was still in control, but the government had underestimated his ability to manipulate the system. It would not be long before the facade crumbled. In 1992, Escobar's escape from La Catedral marked the beginning of the end. The Colombian government, along with American forces, launched a relentless manhunt. But Escobar, always one step ahead, disappeared into the mountains. For over a year, the hunt for Escobar was one of the most dangerous and intense manhunts in history. The Colombian National Police, with assistance from the US DEA and CIA, tracked him across Colombia. Each day that passed, Escobar's empire crumbled as his former allies turned against him. On December 2, 1993, Pablo Escobar's reign came to an end. After a final confrontation with the Colombian police in Medellín, Escobar was killed, shot, according to many reports, while attempting to flee across the rooftops of the city. His death didn't bring an immediate end to the violence or the cocaine trade, but it marked the final chapter of an era. Today, Medellín, once the capital of cartel violence, has transformed. The scars of Escobar's empire remain, but the city has rebuilt itself, proving that even the darkest times can eventually give way to hope. The legacy of Pablo Escobar is one of both fear and fascination. To some, he was a ruthless criminal. To others, a figure who helped the poor, creating a complex legacy that continues to spark debate. Pablo Escobar was more than a criminal mastermind. He was a symbol of the extremes that power, violence, and ambition can reach. His life and death serve as a warning, a testament to the fragility of empires built on blood and greed. Thank you for watching The King of Cocaine, The Rise and Fall of Pablo Escobar.